So once you've took that protective coating off, it's only on the printed side where it's reading the right side up. If you turn it the other way, there isn't one on the back. So it's just on the top. So I say if you go to start cutting and think, well, it's not cutting, it's sticking, it's just you take that protective cover off. And then what I've got here, so this is the grey posies, this one, look at this.
I've got that coming up for you in a bit.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. So when I look at it, first I'm putting that ½ metre down. I'll put my shape creator on the top, so, well, the fabric's bigger, Bernie. So what you do is you just fold it. I comfortably cut through 6 layers with this shape creator.
That's brilliant.
If you're starting out, you might want to stick to 4 or a couple and just build up till you get used to it. If you're new to rotary cutting, so we've got our director today, George, his partner's just getting into sewing, Becky. Did you know?
I can't believe you're going to call him out on this.
No. No.
You are, yeah?
No. What I'm going to say is his partner's going to start learning how to use a rotary cutter. So always use, this is some tips for our director as well to take home, to always go just with a couple of layers till you get used to it and then build up your sort of layers of your fabric that you're going through. And the other thing what I'm using here is our A2 mat. So this fits perfectly on our A2 mat here. And I'm going to use, I've got the 45mm rotary cutter and I've got the 28. So I'm going to use both of these, but we've got a great deal on today, Becky, with the mat and the rotary cutter as well. As a set, that's perfect. Yeah. If you're getting that, some of the fabric you set, you can make those items that I was showing you because they're just so straightforward. And like I say, you've got all the instructions on here.
That's brilliant.
So I've got my ½ metre here. First thing I'm going to do is quickly going to cut some strips because that's the main thing that when people look at these sort of styles of cutters is people want to make the strips, and especially, let me grab one, I've got one here. So especially if people are making anything and they want to put the binding on.
Yes.
So the binding's this fabric around the outside. The most common width for that is 2.5. So I'm going to cut some 2.5-inch strips. So all I'm doing is I'm looking at the grid on here. It starts from 0 and it goes up to 12 one way, and then it goes from 0 along to 8.5. Okay? So I'm lining up on that first groove. Now your first groove on the 0 line, that's going to cut your sort of raggedy end off your fabric. Now normally, if you have a ruler, you've got to cut the raggedy end off, then you've got to move your fabric, move the mat, and everything can go a little bit askew with, because remember I've got 4 layers here and I don't want them to move, I want to keep them lined up. With this, you don't have to move anything apart from your rotary cutter. So let's have a go. So I'm going to line that up so it's flush there. So I'm using any of these horizontal lines here. I'm going to take my rotary cutter, and there's a little like diamond at the end here, and that's where you're going to start off with your blade. Now you're going to pop it in there, straight up to the top. Now, normally you wouldn't lift that and move that away. I'm not touching anything. I'm just going to move along to the 2.5-inch line. And again, I'm going to go up and I'll do another one quickly. So now I'm going up to the 5. There we go. Now I'm going to move the shape creator. And now you can see how perfectly, and you've got your little bit of scrap there that you're not going to throw away. You're going to keep that for your stuffing. So once you've got your strips, then you can decide, are you going to be cutting your squares? Are you going to cut triangles? Ooh, what shall we go for? I'm going to cut a diamond. Ooh. And then I'm going to do some hexagons. Because I love my favourite shape on here is, well, actually I've got 2, Becky. The hexagon and the circle.
Circle, I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to.
Because they're the hardest ones to cut if you're doing it without this tool.
Yeah, to get them accurate, if you haven't got, like I said, you may have dies, but if you're not a die user, you know, you need to be able to cut those shapes accurately, especially in patchwork. That's the only downside with patchwork, is keeping the accuracy. So you've got options here. If we look at the mat, we've actually got lines on the mat as well. It needs a bit of a clean look. I promise to clean it for next time. I'll be getting in trouble in my ears.
What do you clean it with?
Look,
just
stick
soap?
away. So I would stick away.
Yeah.
Spray that.
Yeah.
Or you can use just a very light sponge. You know the sponges you get with the little scrubby bit on, but it's not too harsh?
Yes.
One of those.
Got you.
As well, yeah. But our
Brilliant.
stick away works a treat, especially if you've got like sticky bits on like I have, where I've been doing glue and bits and pieces on it. Yeah, easily comes up.
Brilliant.
So because we've got these lines on here, we've got the 45-degree line there, we've got the 60-degree line here, but also we have those on the Shape Creator. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use the ones on the Shape Creator, but I roughly want to do, so I'm going to do a 60-degree diamond and then I'm going to turn it into a hexagon. I'm just going to move it along here, just so you can see on there. There we go. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for the 60-degree line, which is this one here. And I'm thinking, right, well, I need to line that 60-degree line up with the side, one of my edges on here. And if I move it up then, my tip here, and I'm just not going to cut into my self edges, my tip is going on the 0. So this time I'm going to get the 28mm out, because you can. The 60mm will go through this one as well. I'm not sure if I've got my, I might have my 60 in my bag. If I have, I'll show you that one working as well. The key to remember is whatever strip width you cut, that's the length, if you like, that you cut as well. So I cut 2.5, so I'm going to go back to the 2.5. Now, my fabric's all the way up here. If I want, I can start down there and work all the way up. But, oh, I just moved that a little now. I'm going to show you something else that works, because I moved that a little bit. Or what you can do is start further up, and I just pop my finger there like that, put it on an angle, it goes in, so you haven't got to go from the bottom section. So I did 2.5, and then I did 5. There we go. And there we've got...
Oh, gorgeous.
Perfect. And I cut 4 layers there. So how quick...
Oh, that's such a time saver.
How quick is that to start doing your diamonds? Now, I'm going to actually cut a bigger hexagon. So I'm going to cut a wider strip. So let me cut a wider strip. And the other thing as well, I'm going to show you another product that we've got. So, you know when I was saying there, Becky, and it slipped a little bit?
Yeah.
So what that was is I had a bit of pressure on there and I moved it a little bit. Now, if you find that happens on any ruler, any of our product, we have this wonderful product here called Spray and Stay.
Yeah.
Now what this is, it's a grip adhesive. So what it does, it puts like a fine mist on your product. So I'm going to spray it onto the back of here. I'm just going to do it to the side of me here. And you just put just a light little spray. You don't need a lot. And it puts, to be honest, I can't even see it. But if I feel it, I think, actually, I can feel there's something there, but it's not tacky or anything. And what that does when it dries, and it's going to put a little grip on. So if I leave it upside down, so my spray's on this side, if I go to push, you can see that that's just sliding over the fabric, which is fine, and I use that all the time. However, if you struggle with your grip, now, oh, do you know what? I didn't shake the can up very well there, Becky. In fact, I didn't shake it up at all.
Shake it to wake it!
Let me put it on properly.
That was from, wasn't it?
There we go.
Oh yeah, you can see it on
see it now. I was thinking it's very clear, but I didn't even shake. So always give them a good shake before you use them. Any spray, even your hairspray. So we can see now there is like looks a little bit cloudy.
Yes.
Again, this comes off with your stick away as well. So if I pop that on now, can you see it's actually moving? It's moving my mat. My mat's moved because it's put that grip on there.
Yeah,
so if you do have any problems with any of your rulers, I have this, because I've got the quilt and starter pack as well that we've got on the show, and I have that spray on my 6x12 ruler as well.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Right, let's go for a 4. So I've cut a 4-inch strip.
Okay.
I'm going to cut that diamond again. I'll keep it on the 4 strips. And as well, and I'm not going to waste any of these pieces, because any pieces that you cut like this, even if you're just practicing, keep them, and you keep a bag of hexagons. So if ever you're going to put a project together and you say, oh, actually, yeah, I've got them that I was practicing, I was cutting with. So again, I've lined up that 60-degree line on there.
Yeah.
And I'm just going up as much as I dare onto that one. So that's my first line that's going to go up to there. So I'm going to cut one side of the diamond.
Yeah.
And I cut it at 4, so I need to go 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit of maths, a little bit of counting really, isn't it? And then now, I've now got bigger diamonds. I've got all of those. So now I'm going to cut these into hexagons.
Okay.
And again, these instructions are all on the side of here. So you've got here cutting diamonds,
yeah,
and then straight into cutting hexagons. First thing it says is follow the instructions above to cut a diamond using the 60-degree line.
Right.
Okay, so we follow in suit on that. And this is where you do have to do a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of maths. So we cut our strip at 4 inches. So to make the hexagon, we just want to half that and think about the half. So we want to think about 2 inches. So I'm lining this up with the 60-degree line, and also the top and bottom of my diamond, I'm lining up with one of the grid lines. This one's on the number 4. And then what I want to do is that measurement I had, so half of 4 is 2. So if you had 3, it would be 1.5. I'm going to count along 2, 1, 2 inches, and I'm going to cut. And that's the only measurement you need to think about, half of what your strip was. Mm-hmm. So again, I've got that lined up there. So I want to go 1, 2. And actually, I don't even think I mentioned these increments of the grooves are 1/2 inch increment. Brilliant. So if I take that off, I've still got my diamond. I've cut triangles, so I've also got equilateral triangles here, so that's not waste. I'm going to take that top one off because it's a bit creased. There's my hexagon. And it's absolutely perfect.
That's just brilliant.
If I turn it and put it the other way, it goes back into the triangle, the diamond, because it is a perfect hexagon. Shall we cut a circle? Shall we cut a circle,
yes,
Becky?
please. Because cutting a circle is so difficult if you're just doing it with scissors. To get it nice and even,
to get it accurate. Again, if you've got our dies, so we do circle dies, great, but if you don't use dies and you prefer to use a rotary cutter or scissors, you try and draw a circle, you've got to get a compass out and draw, drawing round a cup.
Oh, I've done
or the roll of sellotape, or the top of the can.
Yeah, the lid of something.
And then you've got to cut it by hand. So yeah, it's not ideal.
It can be tricky.
Let me show you how we're going to do the circles. I'm going to get this back so you can see it. Can you see on the corner of each one, it's rounded? We see, and they're different. Oh, there's one of Pippa's hairs just managed to... There's always one ends up here, one of Pippa's hairs ends up on my table. So we've got... And then look at that little dinky one. So these round edges are perfect if you want to round the edge of a bottom of a bag or a cushion if you're putting piping on. You're going to round off those. But on each one, it tells you there's a quarter circle shape with the line, and it's saying that's a 2-inch circle. So from the outside to the inside, that's your circle radius, so that's 1 inch. Okay. Obviously, you're going to double it. But you fold your fabric underneath to put it underneath to cut it. And then again, we've got the 3-inch.
That's so
and we've got the 4-inch.
Clever.
So what we thought was, because obviously, it's like with rulers, there's a lot of rulers out there on the market. When we were developing this one, and we were looking at it, I think, what can we put on? And I'm sure it was Amy. Hi, Amy, thank you very much if you're watching, because this was genius of putting these rounded circles on, because it gives it that extra thing
element.
That it does. So you've got to put your strips, your squares, your triangles, your diamonds, your hexagons.
All on that one mat.
Circles.
That's
all
so
on the
cool.
Mat. Yeah.
I've had a quick message in just before you change fabric from Linny saying, what fabric are you using there, Bernie?
So this one is the grey posies.
Posies, isn't it?
I've got this one here, yeah.
And it is on offer today if you fancy it.
Let's shall we pick a different one for circles? No, I'm going to use this one again because I do like this one. Right, so with this one, I just need to cut out, I'm going to cut a 3-inch, I've got that strip there. So I've got this fabric here that just I had left when I was cutting the diamonds.
Yes.
So I'm just going to rough cut this because I don't need it to be exact. So I'm just going to rough cut a piece. But you could, once you start doing these and you get the concept of it, you can start measuring this so you're not wasting a lot of fabric. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to get your rough square of fabric. You're going to fold it in half and just give it a finger press or a light, well, I wouldn't even say a light iron actually, because you're going to iron it out after you've cut it.
Okay.
And if we look at the shape creator, we need a quarter circle.
Yes.
That we're going to cut, and then it'll open out into the circle. So then I've folded it the other way, and the key bit is to make sure just when you've folded it over that those two folds there line up.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be putting any pins or anything in that. You just give it a good finger press because that'll easily iron out. Right, now I'm a lefty, so I want my curve that I'm going to use to be over on this side.
Right.
What you can do is, if it won't turn that way and it's in an awkward position for you, you can flip the shape creator over. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so where we're going, I'm going to go for the 3-inch circle. So the fold bit, so the pointed bit, that's the fold. So I've got folds there and I've got folds there. My raw edges are this way, out of the way. Raw edge is always facing out. I'm going to pop that underneath the shape creator on the line. You can see I've got that lined up perfectly. And then this is where your 28mm is perfect for going around curves. The 4-inch and possibly the 3-inch you could do with the 45, no problem. Okay. The smaller two, I would definitely use the 28. And I've got 4 layers of fabric here again.
Yeah.
The other thing with this is as well, if again you can put that, I've got the spray and stay on, so it's not going to move anywhere. And then just keep your hand on there, hand arch, don't have your hand flat. Whenever you're cutting, always have your hand arch, because if you did accidentally slip, you can push away like that. If your hand's flat, you can't really pull your hand away as quick, you know, just to safety first, always safety first. So, and then I'm going to take the rotary cutter and I'm just going to put that rotary cutter round that curve and take it away. And then, as if by magic, we've got a perfect 3-inch circle. But also, Becky, this is my favourite part, you haven't got any waste, because if you think about the square that you originally cut, you've got the negative.
Et voila. Perfect.
So you can piece them back
different
together.
Fabric circles in the middle.
Imagine a quilt if you just had that one and have like, say, a plain, say a white background even. Oh, have I got?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't got any white, but I've got a piece of pink. It'll probably work with this. I'm going to use this on my next demo. So if you think about all your quilts, you're going to have the positive and the negative.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that would look really modern as well, actually.
Really modern, yeah. And then obviously, I say the 4 marks are just going to come out when you press them, but you've got the opposite negative, so you have no waste. So you could cut your square that you need from your with your shape creator, so it's exact.
Yeah.
And then you've got that, and you've got no waste at all.
Oh,
absolutely brilliant. So yeah, and the other thing. I'm saying the other thing, there's so much to show on here. The other thing that I just want to mention that we don't mention it very often is, on the end here where you've got your 0 line, there's do you see this dashed line running up here that says 1/4 inch?
Yes.
So although these are in increments of 1/2 inch, you can cut 1/4 inch increments. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you quickly. Right, so let's get this strip of fabric. So say, now this one was 4 inches because this was the one I cut for the diamonds. And if I pop it on there, I can see that measures the 4 inches.
Yes.
I hope that up so you can see it, there we go. So we can see it measures 4 inches. I want to turn this into 2 1/4.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is say, right, well, if I put instead of the straight edge being on the 0, I'm going to line it up on that 1/4 inch mark.
Okay.
There.
Yeah.
Then I've got 2.5 less 1/4 gives you your 2 1/4. So a little tiny bit of maths. So I'm going to cut on the 2.5 inch line, but because I've lost 1/4 there, it's going to give me 2 1/4. There we go.
That's
so I'm going to
clever.
pop that in there. There we go. So if I take that out now, we've got a 2 1/4 inch line. And I'll just get my ruler just to show you that.
prove
so you
it.
can see. I've got my ruler out, and you can see, I don't know if you can see on my ruler is a little bit cloudy because I do have, the stick and spray has been on here forever. Oh, you can just see it there. See that bit of cloud?
Yeah.
That's the stick and stay. So if I measure this, there we go. There we go, 2 1/4. Absolutely
Brilliant.
perfect.
That's fab.
So that's how you can measure with quarters as well. So, you know, you've got a lot of options on there. I just love it, Becky. The fact that you can cut, I mean, we started out with them strips. I don't even know where my strips have gone. Here we go. So we had the strips, which you're going to use for your binding. That's the first thing you're probably going to make with this is cut loads of strips. And all you're going to do is on your piece of fabric, you're going to cut as far as you can go, then move it along, cut, and you can keep going as long as your mat will let you. So we've got the strips we cut on there, and then next we cut those small diamonds, but then we cut the bigger ones and we made them into the hexagons as well, and then we cut the circle, and that's the 3-inch circle with its opposite.
Oh, it's just brilliant.
Do you know what you could do? So you
on.
could cut the circle out of the hexagon.
Different one.
So you could fold the hexagon. I'm going to quickly do it. I'm going to proper
I love
rebel.
that.
So the other thing as well, if you think about your fabric,
Yeah.
you could do a little bit of fussy cutting. So let's pick one that's got so that one's got a nice flower, pretty central
Yes.
in there. Okay. So what we're going to do is say, right, so let's do a 2-inch. So we'll cut a 2-inch, but we literally want to fussy cut that.
Okay.
That little posy in there. So roughly what you're going to do is work out roughly where the centre of your design is and then fold it. So I'll just do it by eye. So I'm folding it that way, fold it that way. That's pretty central.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that this is all, so you can see the wrong side, because that bit's going to be your waist.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're going to find the 2. So there's the 2. So again, I've got that fold and fold.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop it under there, lining up, make sure them folds are lined up. And it doesn't matter that this is on an angle, because what you want to do is have it comfortable for you for cutting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to go around there. And if you find that it doesn't quite cut the first time, because you haven't, say maybe you haven't just pressed on quite enough, you can just go around again.
Brilliant.
And then when we take this one out, we've now fussy cut a circle with that flower.
That's beautiful.
And obviously we didn't do it in the centre because it wasn't in the centre, but had you put that in the centre, you can really, your mind just starts working, doesn't it, with loads of ideas, which is what I got a little bit carried away cutting out circles, Becky. When you see me next demo, you'll see I've just got a little bit carried away with them. So yeah, it's just brilliant. I mean, the amount of shapes that you can cut, you know, and the strips, and then we've got that one that was 2 1/4 as well. It's, you know, it's just endless, and the amount of different things that you can make is brilliant. Definitely, for me, I know it's the new launch today, Becky, it is my pick of the show.